Hi guys, so we are going to be doing CHING number 22 today. I remember my last CHING, I feel like my battery was dying and I kind of cut off. So I may have missed a couple from between then and now, but I think for the most part I have them all. So we're just going to start where we left off. So the first thing that I have was something that Eric picked up. This was actually a fishing reel by Abu Garcia. He purchased this at a yard sale for $3 or $4. I can't remember exactly anymore, but he sold that for $46.99. So that's like the first fishing related thing I think we have ever actually sold. It's not something that I really know anything about, so he just happened to be yard selling with me that day and picked it up. So I think in my last CHING, with this next item was supposed to be in my last CHING but had the battery issues. So this was the other Tiny Tim blow mold that I had gotten from that barn sale. So average out, I paid like maybe 50 cents for him and I got $51 for that. So I do have one more that's currently listed. It doesn't have any bids yet, so we'll see what happens there. Next we have an Etienne perfume. I got this at a yard sale quite a while back. I think I spent $2 or $3 for it and it sold for $23.99. The next item I have is just like a little tea set by Tivana, but it's to make matcha. And I got this, I believe, at Salvation Army. I'd say I spent like 99 cents to $1.99 for it, and it sold for $12.99. Next was something that went to a subscriber. This was just a little amber bud vase. I can't remember what I paid for it, maybe $1 at the most, and that sold for $9.99. I sold a Tommy Hilfiger button-up shirt. This one was really cute. It had these like keys and Crest symbols on. It gave me a Harry Potter vibe, and that sold for $10.99. It was an extra small, which is hard. It's a hard size for me to sell, but I think I got that in like a fill-a-bag rummage sale, so didn't pay much for it at all. Next was a cigar ashtray, and this one was like really big and it had a wooden base, so you could like take the glass ashtray part out, but it just kind of like nestled into a wooden base. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid, I want to say $1.50 or $2 for it, and that sold for $19.99. Next was a Tupperware set. This came with green measuring cups, measuring spoons, and even like the little hanger that you can hang them on. And I got this set, I'm not sure where I got it. I don't know if I got it at a yard sale or a rummage sale, but I can't imagine I paid any more than $1 for it. I know it was super duper cheap, and these are hard to find, especially, I wouldn't say hard to find, but the ones that have the complete set, like the cups, the spoons, and the little wall rack, and also depending on what color, some of those sets can go for a lot of money, and this one sold for $40.99, which is awesome. I did just pick up 2 sets of just the spoons. I got a green set and an orange set at a yard sale for $1 a piece. So granted, they don't have like the cups and the racks and stuff like that, but if I'm getting them for $1, I'm still gonna pick them up. Next is a Susan Graver Skort. This sold for $19.99, and I got it at a yard sale for $2, and I believe that was new with tag. I sold a Perfumed body lotion by CHOPARD for $49.99. I think that's, no, that's not the most expensive thing that I sold in this CHING, but that's high up there. I got this at the auction. I think I won it for, it was less than $5, so that was a great score. Next was a little vintage doll by, it was the brother to the Ginny doll. It was the Jeff doll, He sold for $9.99, and I got him at a yard sale with like a bunch of other like bundled together items. So overall, I didn't really spend much on him at all. He sold for $9.99 though. I don't know if I even said that. Next was a Wedgwood brooch. I got this at a yard sale, I think for 50 cents to $1, and that sold for $23. I don't know, like, I don't think, like, some Wedgwood really isn't worth a whole lot. I mean, granted, this was a good sale, like $23, that's great, but I do think that, like, some Wedgwood isn't as desirable as others. It's something I don't know a whole lot about, and I need to do a little more research on as to, like, if I see it, what for pieces to pick up, because I see it occasionally, but the pieces that I find really don't have much resale value. I sold a Harley Davidson shirt. This one was new with tag and was a larger size. It sold for $29.99. Eric got this at a thrift store. I can't remember what we paid for it. I think we might have paid a little bit for it since it was new with tag. I'd say $5 or less for that we purchased it for. I sold a BOC wristlet for $9.99. That either came from a fill-a-bag or a thrift store. Next, did I say what it sold for? $9.99. My brain is just pinging around. I can't like concentrate right now. It's probably because I didn't have any coffee. Next was a set of these vintage dessert cups. These were so freaking pretty. I got these at a yard sale, and I want to say they were $1 a piece, and they sold for $19.99. I was surprised. I thought they might go for a little more than that just because they had such a really cool like retro looking design, but I'm still happy with what I got for them. Next was a pair of shoes by a brand called Miss Elfire, and these were so unique and interesting. That's why I was drawn to them. They sold for $36.99, and some other shoes by this brand do sell really, really well because they make just really interesting and unique shoes. So definitely keep an eye out for that brand. I got those at Goodwill, and I'd say I paid $6 to $7 for them. Next was a magenta Easter Bunny mug. This sold for $12.99, and I don't know what I paid for this. I would say a dollar maybe. Next was a pair of Clark's flip-flops. I've had these for a while. I remember when I purchased them, I think I got like 3 pairs brand new at a yard sale. I think I paid $1 a piece for them. It was crazy. And I think this was my last pair, and they did sell for $34.99. I sold that Etienne purse that I just got at that estate warehouse sale. The other, gosh, it was a couple weeks now. That sold for $20.50, and I did pay $4 for that. I thought maybe it would go for a little more because it still had its original tag, but it's out of here, so that's just great for me. Next was a pair of Old Navy shorts. These I think maybe were hand painted, like just kind of like a DIY type project, because when I looked them up I couldn't find anything like them by Old Navy. I got these for free from a Curb Alert, and they sold for $9.99, so not a whole lot, but I didn't pay anything for them. A Pantene grapefruit and mandarin shampoo. This was like a really large bottle. This sold for $25.99. I don't think they sell this specific one anymore. I'm honestly not even sure, but I got it from a Facebook Marketplace. I purchased a lot of, I think 3 bottles for $8. So I still have 2 more bottles to sell. The next 2 items went to a subscriber. The first thing was those Toad salt and pepper shakers I got from a yard sale for $1. They sold for $12.99. I don't know if they were meant to be kind of risque, but when I was taking pictures of them, they just kind of lined up just so, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I got a kick out of that. I thought it was really funny. So that's kind of how I advertised them, as the Horny Toads salt and pepper shakers. And then they also purchased a pair of Clark's sandals that I had, and those sold for $28.99. Oh, next was another thing I got at that yard sale where I purchased the Frog salt and pepper shakers. I had gotten a lot of Wheaton glass spice jars, and I decided to sell them individually. I don't have them all listed yet, just in case there's someone who's only looking for a specific spice and doesn't really want all of the rest of them, since it's not a full set. So I sold the cardamom for $15.99, and I got the whole lot of them. I think there were 6, and I paid $3 for all of them. I sold that little Namaji pottery vase. I got this at a yard sale for $1, and I sold that for $12.99. I did sell the other one as well the same day, or the same time I purchased the orange one, but I don't think that was for a little later, so that'll be in like probably the next CHING. I sold this to a subscriber. It was that Lenny Mudd big mug that said "Suck It Up Buttercup" on the front of it. Oh, I thought that was so fun. That mug sold for $21.49, and I think I paid either 50 cents or $1 for it, maybe. Let's see. I sold a C&H, that was the brand of it. Silver, it was sterling silver charm bracelet. Like every single charm on it was marked 925. I got that at a yard sale for $1.25, and it sold for $19.99. This is just like a totally random sale. I sold a set of furniture sliders. How fun. Those sold for $9.99. They're kind of like, I guess maybe like an as seen on TV thing. Had them for a while. I think like I had them ever since Eric and I moved in together, but we never actually used them. Next was a pair of men's buckle jeans. I think this was my second pair. I had already sold the other pair in a previous CHING, and I got these from a fill-a-bag rummage sale, so maybe $1 at most I spent on those, and they sold for $25.99. This was one of those, Eric and I got these at Goodwill. They're by Villeroy and Boch, and they were little espresso sets. They came with the plates, the cups, and then there were little spoons in there as well. They still had their Macy's tags on them, so I don't know if all Macy's went out of business, but our Macy's went out of business, so I don't know if that's like where it had come from or something. But it was like this whole shoebox filled with them, and I forget what we paid for the box, maybe like $4.99 or $5.99. So I have other sets still available, but one of these red sets sold for $34.99. Okay, so in my last CHING, you guys saw that I had sold that Flowbee personal hair cutting system for an insane amount of money. So inside that box were a couple like spare parts. The box that I sold, it had all of the original everything in it, but these were like an extra pieces that I think, you know, when the person had it, they just ordered an extra set. So I just sold those extra pieces for $20.99. So even like the little pieces that go with it still can fetch a good amount. I sold a Coach purse for $45.99, and I can't remember. I know I got this at a yard sale, but I can't remember what I paid for it. Typically, I don't pay more than $10 for Coaches when I buy them at yard sales. Next was a Fossil purse. Eric actually got this for me at the Goodwill. He thought it was something that like I'd want to keep, but I ended up not really caring for it so much. I prefer more or less like the leather Fossil bags, and this one was more like a canvas type bag. So I can't remember exactly what he paid for that, but we sold it for $19.99. I sold a vintage owl necklace. This was like a Trifari chain, but with an owl pendant on it. So I think someone just put the owl pendant on the Trifari chain. I don't think the owl pendant was actually a Trifari. But that sold for $12.99, and I think I got that for $1 at a yard sale. So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things were purchased by one person. I don't know if they're a subscriber or not. I did not get any kind of message saying that they were, but they essentially purchased, there I go again, essentially, purchased all of my Raydun. Like every single Raydun piece I had for sale, they bought. So the first thing was a little, kind of like a paperweight or just like decor item where the front said more or less and then the back said less is more. I got that from Eric, and I purchased a storage unit before. We had so much fun doing that. I don't know, this was like when I first more or less started this channel. So if you didn't watch that video, you should go back and watch it because it was so much fun going through that storage unit. We want to do it again sometime, but just haven't got around to it yet. Anyway, it came from the storage unit, and that sold for $11.99. Next was that dog bowl that we got. It says Yum on the front. We got a couple of pieces of Raydun at a yard sale for I think $2 a piece is what I paid for them, and that one sold for $16.99. Next was a mug that said Early Bird on the front that sold for $12.99. There was also a rectangular plate that said Love that sold for $14.99, and then lastly a USA mug, and that one sold for $19.99. So that was fun. Like, I loved seeing that because then, you know, that's all of that stuff out of the house and just extra space on my shelf that I can put something else that I want to sell. So next was something that was purchased by a subscriber. This was an ANNALEE little drummer boy. I've had this thing for a while, and he was just packed away downstairs in a tote, and I happened to open it up and I was like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot I had this. My mom had picked it up at a yard sale for me ages ago, and it was one of those things where, like, because back then we didn't really know much about like the whole ANNALEE figures or whatnot, so when she saw it, she knew that like I loved just weird things, and when she saw that, she's like, okay, this is really weird, so she got it for me. But my mom, when she would go yard selling, like on days when like I couldn't go yard selling with her because I had to work or something, she was always picking stuff up for me, and not just stuff for me to possibly keep, but stuff for me to resell. She was always trying to find me stuff she would buy with her own money, want nothing for it, just to buy it to give to me to resell, and so then I'd have the money for it. So, oh my gosh, I miss her so much. I don't even want to like get into stories, but that was something that she had purchased, so I'm happy that it went to a subscriber, someone who, you know, can hear my stories about her and just like appreciate and love the items as well. So I'm not getting teary-eyed. Okay, so next was a BOYD'S. This was a little pumpkin figure. It was kind of like a, you know, Cinderella's coach essentially, shaped like a pumpkin. And I just kind of started picking up some BOYD'S items. It's not something that I really used to put too much thought into, but now when I see them, if it's like a super cute item, like I definitely consider it, especially if it's at a good price. So this, where did I get this? I got this, I don't remember where I got this. I think I got it at a yard sale, and I think it was $1, and it sold for $15.99. I couldn't read my handwriting there. Okay, next was also something that went to a subscriber. It was a pair of flats by a brand called Strapeze, and they sold for $29.99. I got those at a yard sale. Probably paid like $1 to $2 for them. The next 2 items went to one person, but I'm not sure if they were a subscriber or not. I feel like ever since managed payments started on eBay, I've been getting a lot more sales, and a lot of sales to like new people who don't have any feedbacks yet, since like it kind of opened up an option for you to pay with absolutely anything. So these 2 shirts went to the same person. The first one was by a company called GH Bass, and that sold for $10.99. It was a gorgeous shirt, new with tag, had this beautiful rhinestone parrot on it, but I had such a hard time selling that shirt, and I don't know why, because I thought it was so pretty. And then the other was a shirt by Express, and it just had this really pretty sequin, like kind of floral design on it, and that sold for $9.99. I sold a talking Jeff Dunham peanut toy, like you press the button and then he'd say like his little sayings, and that sold for $25.99. I actually took that from my parents' house. I'm sure my mom had gotten it at a yard sale at some point for my dad, and I asked him if he wanted it still, and he said no, so I just took that and sold it for $25.99. I feel like we have another one at his house of a different character. I'll have to find that. Next was a pair of Rock and Republic pants. I just recently got these at a Fill-A-Bag rummage sale, so about $1 I paid for them, and they sold for $25.99. I sold a little Coach scribble print purse. I got this at a yard sale with another Coach, and I sold the other Coach in I think my last Cha-Ching. And I know one of the bags was $1 and the other one was $2, but I can't remember which was which. So this was either $1 or $2, and I sold that for $15.99. I sold that beautiful bowl that I got at that estate warehouse sale, the one with the lid that kind of resembled like a jigsaw puzzle. I feel like I paid $3 for the bowl, no more than $5. I think it was $3, and it sold for $29.99. I just loved that bowl. I thought it was so cool. Next was a vintage Izod kids shirt. So this probably was from like late 80s, early 90s possibly. That sold for $9.99, and I got that at a yard sale for $1. I don't really sell a lot of kids clothes, but the kids clothes that I do pick up, I tend to pick up like the more vintage clothes. And the last thing that I have for this Cha-Ching was a set of 2 Victoria's Secret body sprays. They sold for $29.99, and usually with body sprays, I pick them up at yard sales from anywhere from $0.25 to $1. So to sell those for $29.99 was a great sale. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Cha-Ching. We'll be working our way into Cha-Ching number 23 soon. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down below and what is selling currently for you. So I will see you next time.